to another deep dive. You know, I can tell you've been spending a lot of time on YouTube lately.
Oh, yeah. What makes you say that?
Well, let's just say that our topic today might sound a little familiar.
All right, I'm intrigued. Let's hear it.
Today's deep dive is all about gift giving, wine, and fragrance.
Wow, that is a lot of ground to cover. Sounds like someone's been doing their research.
And you would be right. But don't worry, because we're diving into all the fascinating and useful bits from channels like Do It on a Dime, Robin Agarwal, Jeremy Fragrance, Elicite, Wine for the People, and Alex.com.
Oh, I love those channels. You've got great taste in sources. What stood out to you from all that research?
Well, first of all, let's talk about those budget-friendly gift ideas. Do It on a Dime had some really clever Dollar Tree finds.
Dollar Tree. Really, you can find decent gifts there.
Oh, absolutely. Especially for smaller gifts. They have name brand socks.
Name brand socks at Dollar Tree. I'm impressed.
I know, right? It's perfect for those practical people on your list. And for the kids, they have Lego dupes that are actually compatible with real Lego bricks.
Wait, hold on. Lego dupes. How do they get away with that?
Because Lego can't trademark the size of their bricks. It's actually a really interesting intellectual property law thing.
That's fascinating. So you could actually mix and match those Dollar Tree finds with more expensive Lego sets. That's a great way to stretch your budget.
Exactly. And their gift wrapping tips were brilliant too. Putting flowers in a Dollar Tree tumbler or rolling up socks in a cute mug is so much more personal than just a gift bag.
It's all about those little personal touches.
Absolutely. But let's move up the budget ladder a bit. What about Walmart finds under $15?
Ooh, Walmart. Now you're talking my language. What do they find there?
Nail clippers that catch the clippings. Have you ever seen those?
No, but I need them in my life.
Seriously. And car cup holder expanders.
Those are a lifesaver for anyone with a giant travel mug.
I've noticed those are super popular these days. What do you think that says about us?
Well, I think it reflects our increasingly on-the-go lifestyles, always rushing around, needing our caffeine fix.
Makes sense. You know what else I've noticed is becoming a popular gift? Beef jerky.
Beef jerky. Really?
Yeah, like gourmet beef jerky. It's not just a gas station snack anymore.
Wow, gourmet jerky. That's a thing now.
It is. There are all these artisan producers using high-quality meats and unique flavors. It's like the fancy popcorn trend, but with protein.
I'm seeing a pattern here. People are looking for those elevated food experiences.
Okay, let's keep climbing that budget ladder. What about the $25 range?
All right, lay it on me. What did Do It on a Dime recommend for that price point?
Car diffusers are always a hit, especially if you know someone's favorite scents. And I loved their idea of a personalized Shutterfly calendar filled with family photos or funny inside jokes.
Ah, that's so sweet. It's like a gift that keeps on giving all year long.
Right. And in the under $35 range, there were some real standout items. A leather dop kit for the frequent traveler, a charging block with a built-in kickstand.
Oh, and custom-fit car organizers. I love those.
It's like giving the gift of a clean car.
And it's that personalization again, but this time with a focus on practicality and organization. People want things tailored to their specific needs.
All right, let's move into the splurge category.
Ooh, splurge. Hit me with those luxury gift ideas.
Do It on a Dime had a heated foot massager for under $80.
A heated foot massager. Sign me up. My feet are always tired.
They were saying it would be perfect for people who are on their feet all day, like nurses, teachers, anyone in retail.
That's such a thoughtful gift idea. And don't forget about the red light therapy mask they mentioned.
Right. It's supposed to be like a more affordable alternative to the high-end Omnilux brand.
Which can cost hundreds of dollars. It's amazing how much focus there is on self-care and wellness these days.
It's not just about pampering yourself. It's about investing in your well-being.
Okay, I'm ready for our next deep dive. The world of wine.
Yes. Let's uncork this knowledge.
Tell me everything.
We have some incredible insights from Elicite and Alex.com about the most expensive wines in the world.
Ooh, expensive wine. I'm all ears.
Are you ready for this? A bottle of 1945 Romane Conti sold for over 400,000 pounds.
400,000 pounds for a bottle of wine. Are you serious?
I'm dead serious. Elicite did a whole video on it. This particular vintage was produced right after the phylloxera epidemic, a devastating blight that nearly wiped out European vineyards in the late 19th century.
Phylloxera, wow. That's a blast from the past. It completely reshaped the wine world.
And to make it even more special, this 1945 vintage was produced primarily by women while the men were away at war.
That's incredible. Talk about a piece of history in a bottle.
But let's back up a bit and talk about what makes Romanée Conti so special in the first place. It comes from the Burgundy region of France.
Ah, Burgundy, the holy grail of Pinot Noir.
Specifically, a tiny vineyard called La Romanée Conti in the village of Vosne-Romanée.
Vosne-Romanée. It's like the heart of Burgundy, renowned for producing some of the most sought-after Pinot Noir wines in the world.
And La Romanée Conti is the crown jewel. It's incredibly small, only about 4.5 acres, which is roughly the size of 2 football fields.
2 football fields producing wines that sell for tens of thousands of pounds per bottle.
Supply and demand, my friend. Supply and demand.
That makes sense. Limited production, exceptional quality, and legendary reputation. It's the perfect recipe for a high price tag.
And that brings us to Alex.com's list of the top 10 most expensive wines. They explore all the factors that influence a wine's value.
So we're talking age, production costs, the reputation of the winery, and of course, public perception.
They even talked about the stories associated with certain bottles. Like, there's a bottle of Chateau Lafite from 1787 with Thomas Jefferson's initials etched on it.
Thomas Jefferson's initials on a wine bottle. Can you imagine owning something like that?
And then there's the Penfolds Ampoule. It's not even a bottle. It's a hand-blown glass sculpture containing a rare 2004 Calimna Block 42 Cabernet Sauvignon. It costs $168,000, and to open it, you need a special ceremony conducted by a senior member of the Penfolds winemaking team.
A ceremony. Wow, they really go all out. Talk about an experience.
But we keep hearing the same names pop up on this list, like Chateau Lafite and Chateau Mouton Rothschild. It seems like they dominate the world of high-end wines.
These wineries have centuries of history. They're like the titans of the wine world.
Their legacy, combined with consistent quality and limited production, drives up those prices.
Okay, so that's all well and good for the people dropping tens of thousands on a bottle of wine.
But what about the rest of us?
Don't worry. Wine for the People has got our backs. They've got some excellent recommendations for value wines to look out for in 2024.
Value wines. Tell me more.
These are wines that offer exceptional quality for their price, before they become widely known and expensive. Think of them as hidden gems waiting to be discovered.
Okay, I'm sold. Where do we start looking for these hidden gems?
Well, the experts suggest keeping an eye on specific regions and grape varieties. For instance, Boltolina's Chiavenasca.
Voltolina. That sounds interesting.
It comes from a region in the Italian Alps. And
Yeah.
get this, it's actually Nebbiolo, the same grape used to make those highly prized Barolo wines.
So it's like getting a taste of Barolo without the hefty price tag. I'm in.
Exactly. Then there's Portuguese Encruzado from the Dow region of Portugal. It's said to have a white burgundy-like quality thanks to a similar cool climate and granite soils.
So Burgundian flavors, but at a fraction of the cost. I'm adding that to my list.
And then there's Patagonian Pinot Noir. Who knew Argentina would be producing world-class Pinot Noir?
Patagonia. That's wild.
I know, right? But the southernmost region of Patagonia, with its volcanic soil and unique climate, is doing just that.
This is getting exciting. What else?
Well, the expert also recommends German Spätburgunder, which is essentially Germany's take on Pinot Noir. It's lighter and fresher compared to a Burgundian Pinot.
Okay, Spätburgunder.
Yeah.
I'm going to have to practice saying that one. What else is on this hidden gem list?
Last, and perhaps most surprising, is Chinese Marcelin.
Wait, Chinese wine? Really?
Yes. After some initial missteps trying to mimic Bordeaux, the Chinese wine industry is finding its own unique identity. And Marcelin, a cross between Cabernet Sauvignon and Grenache, seems to be thriving there.
Wow, there's so much happening in the world of wine right now. I never realized how much there was to learn.
There's always something new to discover, especially with wine.
Speaking of discoveries, let's move on to our final destination. The realm of fragrance.
Ah, yes, the intoxicating world of scents.
I'm ready to be intoxicated. What did Jeremy Fragrance have to say about this?
Well, we're going to start with Jeremy's 10 fragrances for the rest of my life video.
Sounds intriguing.
It's a great starting point because he highlights the scents that have a deep personal connection for him. It's not just about what's trendy or popular, but the fragrances that have real meaning to him.
I appreciate that. It
Yeah.
makes it feel more authentic and relatable.
Exactly. And that's what makes fragrance so compelling. It's incredibly personal and evocative. Certain scents can trigger memories, transport us to different places, even evoke strong emotions.
So, what fragrances made Jeremy's personal top 10?
Well, there are some unique choices in there, like Chanel Egoist. It's a spicy, almost defiant fragrance that he wears for himself, not for compliments. He describes it as a statement of individuality.
I love that. What else?
Another one is Creta Ventus. It's achieved almost legendary status in the fragrance community for its fruity, woody scent. And Jeremy credits it with making those niche, expensive fragrances more approachable.
Interesting. So authenticity, personal connection, and not being afraid to stand out. It seems like that's really important to him.
Absolutely. Now, Jeremy also shared his top 10 long-lasting perfumes for women, presented in his typical bold and humorous style.
Ah, Jeremy. Always looking out for the ladies.
He focuses on fragrances that he believes have compliment-getting potential.
Okay, I'm curious, what were some of his top picks?
Well, there's Tom Ford Black Orchid, a classic. But Jeremy warns that it's not a typical crowd pleaser. It's bold, daring, and intensely strong.
I love that he's encouraging people to embrace those bold, unique fragrances.
Another one is Mugler Muse. It's described as the strongest fragrance on the list, with a hardcore chocolatey vibe.
Chocolate and power. That's a dangerous combination.
Then there's Lancôme, La Nuit Trésor, rich, warm, and sensual. Jeremy positions it as a safe bet for a gift.
Classic. And of course, there's Marc Jacobs Decadence, which Jeremy refers to as the man-eater fragrance.
All about confidence and knowing what you want.
And finally, in the top spot, we have Lancôme La Vie Est Belle.
A classic. According to Jeremy, the key to its allure is the orange blossom note. He claims it's like a drug for men and that they can't resist it.
Okay, I need to file that away for future reference. Orange blossom it is.
It's certainly a scent worth exploring, but I know this is a lot of information to process.
My head is spinning a little bit.
It's understandable. But remember, the goal isn't to memorize every single detail. It's about sparking your curiosity and giving you a starting point.
So what has stood out to you so far?
Well, what's fascinating to me is how these seemingly disparate topics, gifting, wine, and fragrance, all connect back to this human desire for connection, self-expression, and creating memorable experiences.
That's such a great point. There's a common thread running through it all. But I think we need to take a little break and let all this information sink in. We'll pick up where we left off in part 2 of this deep dive.
Welcome back. You know, diving into all this got me thinking about a concept that's central to appreciating fine wine.
Terroir.
Terroir. What's that?
It's a French term that encompasses all the environmental factors that influence a wine's character. The soil, climate, altitude, even the human touch in the vineyard.
Okay, but in simpler terms, what does it actually mean?
It means that a wine reflects its origin like a fingerprint. So a Pinot Noir from Burgundy will taste different from a Pinot Noir from, say, Oregon.
Even though it's the same grape.
Exactly. The terroir shapes its flavor profile, giving it a unique personality.
So like two chefs using the same ingredients but creating totally different dishes. Perfect analogy. Now, how do you think terroir plays into those hidden gem wines we were talking about? Like that Chiavenasca from Boltolina.
Ooh, yeah. Bring it back to those hidden gems.
Well, Boltolina is located in the Italian Alps.
Yeah.
Very different environment compared to Burgundy. The soil there is volcanic, rocky, mineral-rich. All those factors contribute to its distinct character. It tends to be more intense, structured, and savory than its Burgundian counterparts.
A wine with a real sense of place, a story to tell. That's what makes exploring wine so fascinating.
And don't forget the human element. The winemakers themselves are a part of the terroir, too.
True. Okay, let's shift gears again. Back to fragrance. We talked about specific perfumes, but I'm curious about the people behind those captivating scents.
Ah, yes. The perfumers. They're the artists of the fragrance world.
So how do they create those amazing scents?
They blend different fragrant materials, essential oils, absolute synthetic molecules to create a harmonious composition. It's like a blend of inspiration and science.
Okay, but how do they decide which ingredients to use?
They could be inspired by anything. A flower, a piece of art, even a memory. And they use their knowledge of fragrance notes, top, middle, base, to create a layered scent experience.
So a citrusy top note might create a feeling of freshness, while a musky base note adds depth later on.
Exactly. Like a musician uses different instruments to create different moods. Perfumers use fragrant materials to tell a story through scent.
That's a beautiful way to think about it. It makes me want to go on a fragrance testing adventure.
Just remember, fragrance is super subjective. What smells amazing to you might not to someone else. There's no right or wrong.
Totally agree. It's like taste in music.
Speaking of taste, let's circle back to those practical gifts. Remember those nail clippers that catch the clippings?
Yes, sir.
It's those small but brilliant inventions.
Yeah.
And it shows that thoughtful gifts can be about solving a common annoyance.
Like my dad always complains about cleaning up those tiny nail clippings. Perfect gift for him.
Exactly. But what about those people who are impossible to shop for?
Oh, you mean like my mother-in-law? She's notoriously difficult.
Well, that's where experiences come in. Instead of a material object, give them a memory.
Ooh, I like that. Concert tickets, a cooking class.
Exactly. Something that aligns with their interest. A hot air balloon ride, a subscription to their favorite streaming service, anything.
The gift of time and shared experiences, much more valuable than a random object.
And remember, experiences don't have to be expensive. It could be a simple hike in the park or even a board game afternoon. It's the thought that counts.
Okay, you've given me so many gift ideas. We've gone from Dollar Tree to luxury wines to personalized experiences. My head is spinning.
That's what happens when you deep dive into a topic. And we've only scratched the surface.
I know, my head is swimming with new information. You know what? I'm already thinking about what we should deep dive into next.
Hold on. We're not done with this deep talk just yet.
Oh, right. We left off in the world of fragrance. There's so much more to discover there. Okay, welcome back. You know, before we wrap up this whole fragrance thing, I gotta ask. We talked about Romani Conti and all those high-end bottles. Where does someone who's just starting to explore wine even begin?
It's intimidating, right? All that jargon and those prices.
Exactly. It feels like you need a degree just to understand the menu.
But remember, wine is about enjoyment. Don't get caught up in the hype or feel pressured to spend a fortune right away.
So where should a beginner start?
Explore. Different regions, great varieties. Figure out what you like.
Go to wine tastings, maybe?
Definitely. And don't be afraid to ask questions. Sommeliers, wine shop staff, they're usually happy to guide you.
Okay, that's good advice. But are there specific bottles you'd recommend? You know, something a little fancy but not crazy expensive.
Remember those hidden gem recommendations? That's a great starting point. Exceptional quality without the crazy prices.
You mean like the Chiavenasca, the Incruzado, the Patagonian Pinot Noir?
Yeah. Perfect for someone who wants to try something new without breaking the bank.
And that Chinese Marcelin. Still thinking about that one.
Definitely a wine to watch. Could be
Yeah.
the next big thing.
I love discovering things before they're trendy. You know, I'm a visual learner when it comes to wine. I need to see the bottle, read the label, maybe watch someone describe it.
Totally. That's where YouTube shines. There are tons of channels dedicated to wine.
Oh, right, like those videos from Illicite and Wine for the People.
Exactly. They make it so accessible and engaging.
So YouTube's not just for gift ideas, it's like a wine education platform too.
And for fragrance, for anything, it's a vast library of information.
But how do we know where to start? It's overwhelming.
That's where we come in. We've done the hard work for you. We sifted through hours of content.
We're like YouTube curators, guiding you through the chaos.
Precisely. So if there's any topic you're curious about, just let us know.
We'll do the deep dive, we'll research, synthesize, present it to you in a fun, engaging way.
Exactly. We handle the heavy lifting. You get the joy of discovery.
It's like you've given me a superpower. I can learn about anything without getting lost down internet rabbit holes.
That's the beauty of the deep dive. We're here to empower you with information.
This has been such a fascinating journey. Budget gifts, hidden gem wines, I've learned so much.
It's amazing how these seemingly unrelated topics all connect, right?
Absolutely. I'm already excited for our next deep dive.